Clyde Lewis. You're listening to Ground Zero. It's ground beef filled with mealworms. Yum. Why do you think farms are shutting down? Why are food distributors being burned to the ground? Because the vultures are circling, waiting to buy them up or sell them out for sustainable alternatives. Meanwhile, the paper of record, the New York Times, is in the process of preparing all of us for cannibalism. Hollywood is too. And you wonder why you're getting that sick feeling in your gut. Why food isn't tasting the same. It literally is a satanic proposal. Literally. I mean, think about this. You remember what Dracula did to his assistant, Renfeld? Of course, Dracula is the embodiment of Satan. He's the embodiment of the devil. He's the son of the dragon. Renfeld, who was his assistant, Renfeld's own testimony revealed in the old vampire story of Dracula that Count Dracula would send him insects, which he starts eating. He started with flies, a death's head moth. Then he develops this scheme of feeding the flies to spiders, and then he feeds the spiders to birds in order to accumulate more food. So he got smart. He says, I can't keep eating flies forever, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to feed these flies to spiders, or I'm going to feed these spiders to birds, and then I'm going to eat the birds. Dr. Seward, in his notebook, he basically says that what he'd do is he would drug a lot of a lot of things, steal whatever, and he would create a crude food chain pyramid of his own, slowly amassing the amount of life force he consumes. So he looks at it as a life force. Dr. Seward then describes him as a zoophagus, a life-eating maniac, where he eventually ate a kitten. He graduated from flies to spiders to birds and then to kittens. And that's how a peasant eats. Dr. Seward fails to acknowledge that humans are constantly eating other living creatures, and what perturbs him then is not the consumption of life, but a matter of designation. Flies are not considered to be normal food. Why is he eating flies? Well, he had a plan. Why are they wanting you to eat bugs? They have a plan, you see. I mean, he's right. Flies are not normal food. Bugs are not normal food. What are we becoming if we start eating repugnant foods like peasants? What are we becoming if crickets are going to replace flatulent cows? I mean, it's going to take a lot of crickets to make a steak. A pound of cricket flour now is $46.25. If you get organic, it's $59.99. I mean, I can't imagine how much it must cost to feed organic food to crickets. But it's obviously deeply expensive, and all this because crickets are apparently, by deductive reasoning, not flatulent. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, that's what they think. Okay. Let's go to Samuel in Australia, man. Hey, how's it going?
Good, Clyde. How are you?
Doing great. What's on your mind tonight?
I'm just still laughing at the idea of organically fed crickets. That's mind-blowing. I just, on the topics of food that don't taste the same, there's this packet of crackers and cheese that I often buy and take into work.
Yeah.
And the cheese in it is supposed to be really good cheese, but it never tastes the same from one packet to the next. There's something not right there. I actually gave up on buying it because of a recent packet I bought. I found that 3 slices of the cheese were covered in horrible green mold, so it kind of put me off buying that again. But also on these vegetable fake meat burgers, I wonder about that because at the moment they're telling us that it's not real meat.
Right.
Well, what happens when the day comes, and I'm sure it'll come, that they will decide that not enough people are buying this pretend meat, so we'll just start slipping it into all of the other burgers.
Right.
If it's something that's not called by a meat name, it's not called a beef burger or it's not called a chicken burger. Say it's called a cheeseburger or a hamburger.
Right.
The name doesn't specifically say that it's made from meat.
Right.
So what's to stop them putting it just in the fine print on that menu up in McDonald's that you can't read?
You're making a great point, and I'll tell you why. And I don't have the notes in front of me. I should have brought them with me, and I should have included my notes for tonight. But I was reading last night an interesting an interesting. It was the dairy, something about American Dairy Commission, and what they want to do is they want to find a way to ban anybody who uses the term milk to describe their drink. In other words, oat milk you could not call it oat milk. You can't call it almond milk. You can't call it coconut milk, I guess. And the reason why is because milk is from a cow, and they said it's a dairy product. And so calling everything milk confuses people, and what really bothered them was cockroach milk. They said that they're ready to market cockroach milk, and they said to call milk from a cockroach milk is deceiving because it's not really, they don't really sit down and, pull the udders on cockroaches to get the milk. They're basically, they basically wash them up and squeeze the guts out of them to make this really viscous, ugly liquid that you drink, and it's supposed to be delectable. It's supposed to be yummy and desirable.
I have my doubts about how nice that would taste. I have a vegan friend who is right into almond milk and oat milk, and I have a lot of fun telling them that no. You are drinking oat juice. Mm-hmm. You are not drinking oat milk. You are drinking oat juice.
That's right.
They don't like that.
Well, they want to call it juice. You're right. It's coconut juice. It's almond juice. It's oat juice. They want to call that, and they say, well, we like calling it milk. Well, the dairy people say no. It's like calling. They want to stop they want to stop them from calling it impossible meat. It's not meat, and that's the thing is that they're using it to deceive people into thinking, like you say, what are they going to do when this meat doesn't sell? And it's not selling. I mean, they're saying it is, but it's not. They're just lowering the prices so people will feel that they want to try it. But once they try it, they don't go back to it. So, Samuel, thank you so much for calling from Australia tonight. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Clyde. Love the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, he makes an excellent point. It's coconut juice. It's almond juice. It has nothing to do with milk. And the dairy farmers want it banned, or they want the name banned, the usage banned. It's because it's deceiving, and they're doing this to deceive you.